So I'm going to start with teachings, and then we're going to move into practice as we did last week. So again, I invite you to sit comfortably and bring your awareness to the room, to the space. You can keep your eyes closed, or you can keep them open. This is up to you how you would like to receive the teachings. Just don't fall asleep, hopefully. Okay. So far, we've explored how to rest attention with the breath as a way of collecting attention, quieting the mind, and coming into presence. In this session, we begin to extend us into mindfulness of the whole body, which is often described as the first foundation of mindfulness. We begin with one of the most well-known quotes from the Buddha. There is one thing that, when cultivated and regularly practiced, leads to deep spiritual intention, to peace, to mindfulness, and clear comprehension, to vision and knowledge, to a happy life here and now, and to the culmination of wisdom and suffering. And what is that one thing? Mindfulness centered on the body. So right from the beginning, we are being pointed back to the body, not as something secondary, but as a ground of practice. And as you know, not every meditation engages the body. In the first session, we explored the different styles, such as mantra, visualization, and the loving kindness practice. There is also a very common misunderstanding that meditation is about transcending the body, going beyond in some way. And yet what we discover again and again is that waking up happens through being awake in the body, not away from it. So why is this so essential? A Buddhist teacher, Monendraji, was asked, "Why do you practice?" And his response was, "So I will see the tiny purple flowers by the side of the road as I walk into town each day." In other words, to live life fully, to actually be here for it. If you reflect on moments in your life that felt meaningful, alive, or deeply connecting, whether that is being with someone you love, being in nature, moments of stillness, or even moments of grief where something real was being felt. The common denominator is that you were in your body enough to register what was happening. And if you felt in other direction, and if you reflect in other direction, on moments of suffering, conflict, anxiety, or self-judgment, very often there is some level of disconnection from the body. So one way to understand this practice is that we are learning to come back into the body, because the body is where our experience actually happens, where everything we think, we feel, and perceive is not just an idea, but something we directly experience. Pema Chodron writes, "It's also helpful to realize that this very body that we have, that's sitting here right now, with its aches and its pleasures, it's exactly what we need to be fully human, fully awake, fully alive." And yet, for many of us, being in the body is not that familiar. If you really check, awareness is often quite partial. Many people live mostly the neck up, and from the neck down, things can feel vague, numb, or distant. This is not random and is not a failure. It is conditioning. When something is pleasant, we tend to grasp. When something is unpleasant, we tend to push away. And because the body is constantly changing and not fully controllable, the system often learns to move into thinking, into trying to manage experience from what we might call a mental control tower. For many people, especially if things felt very out of control or unsafe early in life, this becomes even stronger. We learn to leave the body. And that far end of that, we have disconnection, which can show up as numbness, spacing out, or a sense of not quite being here. So if this shows up in meditation, this is not a mistake. It is often a very intelligent adaptation. And this is why how we come back into the body matters. It has to be gradual, respectful, and gentle, because we will not leave if something had not felt too much. There is a metaphor that really helps to understand this. Imagine your body is a house. And imagine that in the living room of this house, there is a child who is willful and wants to play and wants to eat and wants attention. It hurts and cries and grasps and is doing the whole living thing. And then imagine that you are basically feeling powerless to be able to respond to all of that. It feels overwhelming. The crying and the demands feel scary and you get stressed, so you leave the living room and you go upstairs into your office. You go behind the computer trying to figure things out, try to plan, try to manage. But because the crying gets louder and louder, the demands get louder, you put in earplugs too. So you become further and further separated from what is actually happening downstairs. And even as you get more removed, some parts of you still knows that in the living room there is this upset and wanting child. So it's still here, still there, but now you are disconnected from it, shut off from it. So this is what disassociation can feel like. When something inside feels too intense, too painful, too chaotic, or too frightening, we leave. We go into thinking, into planning, into control, and we create a split between mind and the body. And this pattern is often shaped early in life, but is also reinforced by culture, by pressure to figure things out, to plan ahead, to treat the body as something to manage, also by technology. The more we live in our heads on screens, the easier it is to lose connection with the body. So, what are the consequences of leaving? First is fatigue, because it takes energy to push away and stay disconnected. Second, anxiety, because even when we are disassociated, some part of us still knows that something inside is not being attended to. And then we develop habits that help us keep living, such as overthinking, scrolling, numbing, staying busy, or getting caught in judgment. And at the same time, we become cut off from something essential. We lose connection to the heart, to warmth and tenderness, to groundedness, and authentic power, and to creativity, sensuality, and aliveness. So, when we speak about mindfulness of the body, we speak about a return to a forced, not a forced return, but a gradual, supported, gentle, curious return. Now, maybe let's explore this directly for a moment. So, as you're sitting comfortably, take on a very simple intention now to not to do anything that takes you out of the body. So not to do anything that takes you out of the body, and just notice what happens to you. Okay, close your eyes if that feels more comfortable, or you can keep your eyes open. Not to do anything that takes you out of your body. And then gently come back to the space. Just keep that to yourself. Remember how you felt. And for most of us, what we notice is how quickly the mind leaves, especially when we're stressed. So the practice is not to stop completely, but to notice when we have left and to gently return. So, and this is where the anchors comes in. As we spoke about last week, anchors are simply the sensory reference points to help us to come back into the body, such as breath, um, the contact of the body with the chair, the ground, the feet on the ground, or a feeling of your hands and feet. They give us a place to return to again and again, help us to step out of the mental control tower and back into the direct experience. Another way we support this returning is through practices like the body scan, where we systematically bring attention through different parts of the body and through sensing the body from the inside out, not thinking about it, but feeling the pressure, the warmth, the movement, the sensations. So, with two simple questions, the inquiry actually is with these two simple questions: what is happening inside me right now? And can I be with this? Can I be with this, what is happening inside of me right now? These questions invite curiosity and help us stay with the experience instead of leaving it. There is an example of a woman who had become very disconnected from her body. Her practice was simple. She would pause and ask, what is happening inside me? And feel into her throat, into her chest, and her belly. And then ask, can I be with this? As she stayed, she began to notice that what felt tight began to soften, and what felt frozen began to move. This is something we discover in practice again and again, that experience is not fixed. It changes, it shifts, it opens when we bring kind attention to it. Dana Foltz writes, Trust the energy that courses through you. Don't push anything away. Follow each sensation back to its source in vastness and pure presence. So, returning to the body is not only about grounding, it is also about healing. When we disassociate, things can become stuck or frozen. And when we come back with awareness, there can be a softening, like ice melting, and energy begins to move again. We reconnect with the heart, with presence, and with being alive. So we move into the practice part. The invitation is very simple. Use an anchor. Notice when you leave. Gently come back. Includes everything, even numbness. And the most important part, do this with kindness and with care. Because we are not forcing ourselves back into this living room. We are slowly learning that it might be safe to be here. Okay. This is a moment for you to pause. Maybe readjust your body before we move into practice. Maybe you want to move, shift, stretch, glass of water, whatever feels right. Okay. So I'll invite you again to find a comfortable position with your feet maybe on the floor or hold it. With your back supported by the chair, sofa, maybe cushion behind. Maybe you can tuck your chin slightly so you feel like there is a rope going through your whole body and someone is pulling that rope gently towards the ceiling, so you're lengthening your body and then you're gently dropping so you feel the heaviness of your bum on the chair. And if I can invite you to lower your gaze or maybe close your eyes if they're still open. And notice your breath. Notice the air entering your body, expanding your belly, and then your chest. And slowly exhaling, very gentle, slow exhale. And again, nice, soft, not forced inhale. And a gentle, slow exhale. And another one. Your own pace, your own time. Notice the air entering your body. And maybe notice that softening, releasing, arriving. Anchoring yourself with that breath to this space, moment. If it's more helpful, you can start gently counting your breaths. To bring the concentration. And then on the next exhale, notice that space between your eyebrows. Notice if there's any tension between your eyebrows. And feel the energy in your face, your jaw. Notice your jaw. If there's any tension in your jaw. Notice the space inside of your mouth. Notice your tongue. Is it resting in the roof of your mouth? Is it maybe tip of the tongue touching your teeth? Does it feel tense? Does it relax? Moving down, notice any sensation in your throat. Any tingling. Any tightness. Moving down to your collarbones, your chest. Is there any tightness in your chest? Is there tightness in your rib cage? And notice the movement of your ribcage when you're inhaling. How does that feel? Can I be with this? Notice how's your heart today? If this tender heart could speak, what would it say? If the mind wanders away, notice your body breathing in. And feel the air passing through your nostrils and leaving your body. And again, if the mind is wandering, gently bring attention back to your breath. Notice if there's any sensations in your belly. Sense your belly expanding on each breath in, and gently softening and breath out. Notice there's any tightness in that area, any discomfort. And ask yourself, can I sit with it? Can I be with this experience? Again, if your mind is drifting away, the thinking is coming in. Just notice thinking, thinking. And gently bring attention back to the air that is floating in your body. And gently expanding your belly. And releasing. Now notice your body connecting with the surface you're sitting on. Notice your sitting bones gently pressing. Maybe there's some tightness in that area. And sense the connection of the back of your leg with the surface. Is there any tingling in your legs? You sense your hands resting. Notice if there's any tension, any clinging tightness. And gently breathe into that experience. Again, check in with your body, your legs, your knees. Sense the energy moving down your thighs, down to your feet. Sense the connection of your feet with the ground. Each toe gently pressing the ground. The heels connecting with the ground. You can sense that gentle pull of the Mother Earth holding you, supporting you. Keeping you safe. And again, start gently bringing awareness back to your body. Notice your breath. Notice the position of your body. Notice your hands. And very gently start bringing awareness back to the room, the space. You can keep your eyes closed for a little bit longer. Or start gently butterfly open your eyes. Maybe give yourself a little stretch. Or yawn. Whatever feels good. Thank you.